Okay, recording this video after close of trade Wednesday, 6th of July 2011. Hope you had a good day trading. Got a little bit more range today, about 10 points top to bottom. Yesterday was only about 7. And so now, interesting point, we've now had cyclical resistance coming in on our daily time frame here. And this has come in on a whole bunch of charts. We've got resistance now formed on the daily charts on copper, euro, Aussie dollar, and kind of the opposite with support levels in on all the bond contracts, 5, 10, 30, and dollar index. Now this is what I was talking about on the video on the weekend. 2 weekends ago, we had kind of the support levels coming in on the whole bunch of charts, and this led to this rally from 1260 down at the bottom here. And now we've got this cyclical resistance level kind of come in on all these charts after talking about that this weekend. So critical point here. Now that level's in, we either kind of fall away and kind of head back down into the congestion zone, or we break that and take off to a brand new strong uptrend above kind of 1350, and we're away to the races. You'll all know my bias. My bias will be to be down, go down at the moment, and I suppose the reason I'm looking at that is because I think the euro's weakening, I think the dollar index is strengthening, all the bond contracts look like they've got a little bit more life in it, and we're kind of, some of those moves have started to happen over the last couple of days and have started to move in that direction. Rather than them kind of reversing and break those support levels, I think the equities index is kind of going to fall and follow them, if you like. Also, I talk about kind of lower time frames and higher time frames. If this is the higher time frame on the daily time frame, you knock it down 2 time frames and you actually come down to the 45-minute chart. And here we've had this extremely strong rally from the 1260 level here. We had an initial end of trend that didn't hold. We broke through that, bang, all the way. And with today's activity, we've had a pullback level form, and so tomorrow hopefully we should get an end of trend form. So I talk about trend moves in lower time frames being equivalent to cycle moves in higher time frames. So this is a full trend move here, and it's kind of equivalent to this cycle move that we're seeing on the daily time frame. So and my guess is that still we've got to make this cyclical low on the weekly chart, but it is feasible that that was it, and this is plotting late on better sine wave. I'd like to see us kind of come back in and find that support in a couple of weeks' time. But if this move is, the market is really so strong, kind of technically, fundamentally, or whatever, and it just kind of races away, then this will be late, and this will print kind of as this move starts going. So critical juncture, we're 15-20 points away from the recent high. So tomorrow's activity is going to be key. If we start to, and again, the ranges the last couple of days, 7 points, 10 points, haven't been huge. We're looking for something bigger than that. A 15 or a 20 point move would be nice, and so potentially we could get that possibly to the downside tomorrow. So let's kind of see. 4,500 tip bar chart, interesting kind of day's trade. Got a nice another one shot one kill email. This one was from Warren today. Hello Barry, very good system. I was drawn in, by the way. You analyze volume, and had my first trade today, long at 1326, 926 central time. One shot one kill for 4 points. Took no heat based on your entry on the 4,500 and 1,500 tip bar confluence. Thanks for all you've done. Excellent videos, Warren. So let's just show you what that was today. This is 4,500 tip bar chart around this kind of 9:30 time, Chicago time. So we kind of overnight, so this is the close on Tuesday, overnight Tuesday to Wednesday morning, we kind of rallied forward to 42. Rambo patterns up here. It's all being driven by amateur stuff, very kind of low volume stuff. A lot of professionals kind of gaming that stuff in the after hours. So we kind of sold off pretty hard after that. And I did say yesterday that with yesterday's activity, we had exhaustion, selling, flush signals, and so on. This trend move on the upside was not going to be over until we'd had exhaustion buying on the upside, which is what we had. So when we came into this level about 28, 26, we had all of these blue professional bars kind of coming in, cyclical support on the 4,500 tip bar chart, bit of bullish divergence here, and we shot up for the best kind of rally of the day, the best kind of trend move of the day. So you can see, in at, I think Warren was saying in at 26, which is a great little entry. Yep, he was in at 1326, and out at 30. So that was even just from here to here. So it's there was a lot more to be had in that move. There was we went to 36s, 37s on this move here, so that was nice. But there was the exhaustion buying at the end of that move, and so now that we've had that in on the 4500 tip bar chart, we're making kind of bearish divergence patterns and so on. So potentially setting up for some kind of a reversal move tomorrow. When you go down to the lower time frames, and I was actually in this trade, I was short initially here. I was hoping that this was going to break, frankly, at 1326. I was hoping that it was going to break and we were going to a strong trend move. I was short at 1330 and actually had an initial target at 26, and I moved it out to 24.5 because I was trying to make up for a 1.5 point loss on the first trade I made. And then it didn't work out, kind of reversed and went the other way, so I went long again at 29.25, which is kind of around here on this little pullback. So let me just show you that. So on the 1500 tip bar chart, after the morning's activity, we came into 26.27, exhaustion selling, blue professional bars, professionals kind of come in, pick it up, we hold support here, and the market keeps on going. This was the nice little entry point. Kind of run away initially, goes a little bit too hard, too fast into a Rambo pattern, so the amateurs are buying just that breakout. But this little retracement that we see here was blue professional bars coming in at the lows there, picking it up, 1, 2, 3 in a row, and then the highs of those bars get broken and this thing just races away to the upside. We test back down into that level, into that professional buying level, just holds really nicely, and then it's away. We form a pullback to an end of trend all the way up, exhaustion buying, bearish divergence at the high here. So my entry at 29.25 was nice for here. I actually only got out at 33.25 for 4 points. It was good for a little bit longer. I was hoping for another 3/4 of a point to make up for my the net loss really after the first 2 trades, but I was happy. 3 trades, 3.25 points. On the 500 tip bar chart, you can see here what was going on. The activity from the overnight session, so we kind of sold off after these amateur up bars into the 1340s. We had our end of trend kind of early on, but this whole activity kind of coming down here, you can see, was all complex correction, just batting backwards and forwards. Sorry, it's a little bit kind of bunched up here, but I want to show you all of these support and resistance level on the 500 tip bar chart kind of holding, so we're kind of batting backwards and forwards. This is a complex correction on the way down, which leads to a trend move in the opposite direction. And then so we get the trend move starts to set up after we've had exhaustion selling, blue professional bars kind of come in, a little bit of testing with amateur down bars, whole series, little family here of bullish divergence, closer and closer to zero line, showing that we're in balance here, likely to move into a trend move, bang, and then this kind of moves into a trend move. We get confirmation of the trend move at this point, breaking above 32 into a pullback and end of trend, and then we're finally kind of out of this at the top of this move. After end of trend, we test even back up. Look at all this bearish divergence, whole series right by the zero lines, trying to take profits. Finally, Rambo patterns, couple of them in a row, right at the top there at 36, and then we kind of sell off to the downside, for the rest of that move down. So that was the best kind of trade of the day, this move here, and this is where Warren was seeing confluence support on 4,500 and the 1,500 tip bar chart. Blue professional bars, we'd had our exhaustion selling kind of earlier, and we had bullish divergence. We took off to the upside. So that was a nice one. I'll tag that one on to the end of this video. Now, just talking about longer term charts, 40,500 tip bar chart, we've had our pullback signal with today's activity. We've got to make that end of trend properly tomorrow. But I just want to point out, I keep on talking about this with trend moves. You see these end of trends starting in the lower time frames and then rippling through into the higher time frames, just to show you. So on these kind of longer term charts, the first end of trend that we saw was after the 4th of July kind of a long weekend with Mondays and Tuesdays activity there. The first end of trend on this kind of higher time frame, if you like here, end of trend. Then you go up one to the 13,500 tip bar chart. There's the next one with yesterday's activity, end of trend, just printing there. And now going up to the 40,500 tip bar chart, pullback, and we'll have an end of trend most likely tomorrow. So you can see those in all these different time frames. You can see it from a 500 to a 1,500 to a 4,500 tip bar chart, and these kind of higher time frames where you get these end of trends kind of showing up in the lower time frames. We go through congestion and then them showing up in subsequently higher and higher time frames, and it's kind of just signaling that the markets find it difficult to get through. And then just on the other charts, let me show you. So dollar index, we're starting to hold here. So euro's going down, dollar's finding support. So we found support over the last couple of days. This little amateur bar, bullish divergence. Last couple of days we had quite a lot of selling, but in terms of selling activity, but the price destruction was really quite muted here. So we've had our exhaustion selling, blue professional bars, professionals kind of race in. We tested back down, amateur bars, Rambo patterns, cyclical support holds, come back in to test again, another amateur bar, bullish divergence, cyclical supports holding, and we're starting to take off to the upside. And the reverse of that is on the euro trade. We had exhaustion buying, blue professional bars selling this move, testing back into another cyclical resistance, amateur bars, Rambo patterns, no demand, come back again to test at 46, cyclical resistance, no demand, amateur up bar, bang, and we're starting to take off to the downside. So, and then lastly on the bond contract chart, so the 10, the 5, 10 and the 30 all look very similar. This is the 30 here. We've come into form support, blue professional bars kind of first of all kind of come in. We have exhaustion selling at this point, running out of steam, amateur bars, cyclical support holding, and we're starting to move to the upside. So just to say, so this cyclical resistance level is now in on the daily chart that I was kind of talking about on the weekend. So I think we're going to kind of go with the flow and kind of start to sell off tomorrow. But if we break above it, then we're into a very strong uptrend move. So, my guess is we're kind of starting to weaken tomorrow and probably the next day, looking for again more and more range, hopefully with tomorrow's activity. And again, I'll tag on that last day trade, that little kind of trend move. That was nice, and hope you traded well today. Reverse went long 29.25. Alright, now the reason for doing this is we're finding support. Resistance becomes support, 500 tip bar chart. We often get bounces after trend breaks, bounces back at that kind of level here. So just had support level kind of come in. Blue professional down bar on the 1500 tip bar chart. We kind of couldn't get through 30.5. Rambo pattern up here. But we're a ways away from the cyclical turn on the 4500 tip bar chart, so I'm guessing we're actually now in an uptrend, and that we're going to go into a pullback and an ended trend on the 500 tip bar chart on this way up. So hopefully got this direction kind of right now. Last trade, so we were short at 30 out at 29 and a quarter, so that's 3/4 of a point. So that makes up a little bit. I'm still down 3/4 of a point after what is it? 9:48 a.m. So yeah, almost an hour and a half. Not good. Anyway, that last trend was a mess, and I should have got out and taken profits down here, but I didn't. So that was dumb. So let's try and do something good now. Alright, this is very quickly kind of gone in my favour. Quite happy with that. You see all these blue professional bars, whole family of them on the 1500 tip bar chart. Kind of buying that low, so we've taken off the upside, and it looks like this on the 4500 tip bar chart. That was a push down blue bar, and then kind of breaking above the highs of that. So this is going. It was interesting on the 500. When you look at the 500, what it's been doing all morning, this is just a complex correction down from the highs kind of overnight. And we haven't had a decent trend move, so this is it. So now we've got we'll find some kind of resistance here, but we'll break above that and then have a pullback to end of trend. Initial target is at 33.25 for 4, but I want to make up that 3/4 of a point loss that I've got. So going to push out my target to 34. Just do that now. Which is up here, a bit of a ways, but at 32.5 we'll see some fireworks, because that's where the previous high for the morning was. Pretty sure that's right. So anyway, holding long, and this is looking good now. Just sitting under resistance on the 500 tip bar chart, just up here. And I think we're going to push through. We've seen no blue professional bars up here at the highs to be taking profits. Last time professionals were active, we're on this pullback. And as soon as we breach 32 and head towards 32.5, we're going to have all kinds of fireworks as we hit all kinds of stops set after this morning's trade. So looking forward to that, see what happens. Had to sit through a little bit of a retrace, but ended up being a flush signal on the downside, and then bullish divergence, blue professional bar kind of coming in here. So we're testing back up to 31, still trying to break through 32. And a little bit of a ways away from the cyclical resistance on 45, so still think this is good. But if it's a strong trend move, it's going to finish with a pullback and end of trend. So that's what I'm waiting for to signal the out. Still long. Okay, and quite a little while later, we've just been hanging around 31, just making this kind of consolidation pattern here, but no blue professional bars. In fact, the last two blue professionals bars we saw on the 500, just this little pullback here, and we broke above the highs of those. We're itching towards 32, just formed a pullback and an uptrend here. Amateur up bar there, not great, coming up cyclical turn here. Just want to hit the 32.5. It's like there's a bunch of stops there. Professionals aren't going to let that go too easy, so we're coming up to that. As soon as we hit that, we'll have a little bit of a rush. Just came out at 33.25. And the reason I just pulled in from 34 was pro signal exit here on the 1500 tip bar chart, and as soon as 32 got hit, we got 32 got hit first time here, but then we pulled back down to 31, and then the next time we came at it at 32.5 here, just all hell broke loose, and we just kind of rushed to the highs. This was an explosive move, all of those stops getting hit all the way up, and you can see the better momentum kind of reading was really extreme here. So there we go, out for 4 on that last trade. Loss of 3/4 on the 2 preceding trades, so I'm up to 3 1/4 for the day. That's enough for me. It's 10:38 a.m. Chicago time, so coming up to 1:45 a.m. Sydney time. So done for the day for me. Hope you traded well. Just hung around a couple of minutes to see if we did make it through 34, and what do you know, of course we did. We're almost up to 35 now, so that kind of stretch target at 34 would have been taken out, and I'd have made my 4 points, but that's me just kind of getting out a little bit too early when I see these kind of exhaustion signals. That's the easy part of the trade, just sitting through this little retrace, and then final push is always tricky for me. Anyway, there we go. I'm done for the day. Hope you traded well.